All right. Well, I am still in the process of watching the Graham Platner interview. Um, I guess this is the New York Times one. It's long as balls. Um, it's an hour and 18 minutes. It's now at the section where I guess she's interviewing him like over, Zoom or whatever. He just said he voted for himself, so I don't know if this was like a primary or something like that, but whatever. He was like, I just voted for myself, and it was surreal. I voted for myself the last time I actually did vote. I wrote myself in, and there were like 12 slots. I just voted for myself like for everything that there was a write-in slot for. I just wrote my name in there. So I got one vote, I think, for all of those positions, which may have been counted as an ineligible vote, but it was Wisconsin, so I think they are counted as legitimate votes. I think as I understand it, in Texas, you actually need to get 500 signatures from registered voters to be an eligible write-in vote, which is just an excellent way of barring people from trying. It's just a great way of erecting another barrier for holding people back from even trying to challenge the status quo system. It's like, oh, first I need to like qualify to be a challenger to both of the parties that suck ass. So great, because you need to like find registered voters, of the two parties that like, yeah, both suck. Like, who are registered voters? So it's like, oh, you're not registered? Well, I'm sorry, I gotta find like people that are like hardcore for one of the two parties that, so like maybe, and or go around and be like, you're not registered? Let me register you so that you can sign this petition. It's like, oh, great. Now I got to do like extra work just so that I can like be a write-in vote. Or hire or get on volunteers on your side. And it's just like, they just, so just basically creating a lot of work, a lot of extra work for people that want to like fix a problem that desperately needs to be fixed. That was created by a sloppy system and will be perpetuated by a sloppy system that doesn't want the problem to be fixed. So, anyways, and Graham Platner, since I've been hearing a lot about him, I decided to watch the interview in the first place. It seems like the guy is pretty pretty good. He's handling the interview very nicely. Seems very adept at responding to questions. The interview does not seem to be edited. I would say it doesn't seem to be edited at all. There are a few, well, quite a few, camera angle switches, but you can kind of just be like, well, that's so it doesn't look boring, too boring. And so you can get a view of the interviewer and not just one stale picture of both of them. You can get the interviewee and the interviewer and that sort of thing. So it kind of, changes perspective a little bit, but there isn't any real break in the conversation, which is nice. So it does not feel like there's any real editing going on, which is a good thing. Yeah. The only break in it was when she basically said, "Okay, well, we gotta cut it short, but I'll come back to interview you again," and that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to pretty much the second interview, which is looking like it's about 20 minutes long. But he seems to have led a much more interesting life than I have, which is, I don't know, probably partly because I can't remember most of my life. But I probably would be able to remember much more of my life if for two things. One, I haven't smoked so much weed in my life, and it was more. Oh, and I hadn't had trauma from my seizures, and of course, it was more interesting. I'd done more interesting things, but I blame the memory issues on, falling down and banging my head on stuff. So it's kind of like if you were a boxer or a football player and you bang your head up. I guess more like a boxer, because boxers don't wear headgear I don't think boxers wear head protection while they're in a fight. So I've never seen them wear that head protection crap actually in a fight. They do while they're sparring, but anyways. Football players do have helmets, but they still get concussions. And I don't ever remember myself wearing a helmet while I had a seizure. No. So, yeah. Otherwise, my head wouldn't have been cracked open. Thankfully, I can still speak and complete a sentence. I hope you understand that was deliberate. So let's see what he says during the second interview, because he seems like a Seems like a fairly genuine fella. Okay, she just asked him about uh, what is the philosophy of Graham Platner, and also before that she talked about Bernie Sanders and how Bernie Sanders' comments throughout the years have helped to influence the philosophy of the Democratic Party, and yet hasn't really influenced the legislation of the Democratic Party. I think kind of that's true, and um, that is helpful. Um, that is kind of the first step, though. You have to kind of get everyone's awareness about their. If people are not aware of, if they don't have enough self awareness, particularly about the mistake they're making, they're not able to self correct. So first you have to first you have to uh, point out, hey, you're screwing up, and then that will allow them to come to terms with, oh, I am screwing up. That's why I like to kind of try and criticize myself every once in a while about most things. And then decide if I feel like changing those things when I realize they are or may be problems. Which is why in the past, I have not stopped smoking. Because I was like, yes, I probably should stop smoking, but I just kind of don't want to. There's no real reason for me to stop, so I'm just not going to. And then I did it recently, and then I was like, let's smoke again. And I just finished the last cigarette of that pack that I bought, so I was like, maybe I'll stop again because I want to. Not because everybody thinks I should, and I know society thinks you shouldn't smoke because it's not great for you or anything, but because I want to. Mm, 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 mm. And sometimes you have to be given the appropriate nudge to do something, and there you go. I'm not going to give an example yet because I don't know that I'm ready to acknowledge it publicly, but I will. Because I had been aware of it, but I just don't want that. I just didn't want to, the whole soda and in general sugary drink thing. Um, the Texas legislature stopped allowing added sugar stuff and soda to be used to be bought with SNAP benefits. So I couldn't buy soda with it, so I just kind of stopped drinking it. Now, there are some highly sugar stuff you can still buy, as long as it's like fruit drinks, like apple juice, 100% apple juice, and stuff like that. You can still buy that. Those things are very yummy, so I could still buy that and get my sugar fix. And it'd be very yummy, but since I can't buy soda like Mountain Dew and Dr. Pepper, I just kind of decided, well, if I can't buy that, maybe I'll just try like smoking. I'll just try going cold turkey and see what happens. Because I knew from previous experience that if I just cut off, well, first of all, if I just cut off the sugar, the liquid sugar stuff, that's like a buttload of calories that are just gonna be lost from the diet. I don't know how many, but let's say like 500 calories, 600, 700, whatever, daily. And that alone, it's probably going to cause, it's probably going to affect a big weight loss. What I didn't expect really though is that when I stopped drinking that, is my appetite went down pretty much. Now, from aging, my appetite has gone down kind of a little bit. Noticeably, let's say like 10% or something like that, just as I got older. But when I stopped drinking so much sugared stuff, my appetite took another dive, and sometimes I would like just eat breakfast now. I just eat some breakfast, and then like the rest of the day, I might eat. Oh crap! Hold on. I didn't remember until I talked about eating. I had a pot of water waiting to boil, right? Because I was going to make ramen, and I boiled all the water away. And so it was just a pot sitting on the stove. I was just cooking the pot. I don't know how long I was cooking for, but it was just a pot on the stove. Yay. I could put water in there, but that would just mess up the pot even more. So now I gotta let it cool down at least a little bit before I make another attempt. Anyways, so now that I'm not drinking all that soda or any other sugar, yeah, my appetite is just way down. And like I was saying, I could just eat breakfast, and I'm like, it would come until like dinner time or something like that, and I might just eat it like a banana at like 6 p.m. or something like that and be fine. So it's kind of like drinking the soda kind of keeps my appetite like up at a certain level, and like then I want lunch. I want some food at lunch, and then I want a snack, and then I want dinner. It's like keeps me drinking the sugared beverage, the soda, all day. Kind of keeps me hungry, and so. But along with that, there's almost another thing that kind of works against it, which is now since I'm not eating, I have plenty of food. So I just don't need to go into town. And since I'm not smoking, I don't need to go to the gas station. And so I don't need to go outside of my place to get anything. So now I'm even more not needing to go outside than before. And before I didn't really need to go anywhere. So now, like, I'm really struggling to find an excuse to go out of my house, apartment, whatever. And like, I feel weird going out just to like take a walk. Because like, I'm not an old man. If I were at least an old man, I could be like, I'm going for a walk. But like, I'm middle aged. It kind of, to me at least, it kind of feels weird if you're like from the outside in and you're seeing like a middle-aged guy just walking around. I think it looks kind of creepy. Like, what is that guy doing always walking around? We'll be like, I don't have any reason to be outside. Like, I should be like getting out of my house every once in a while, walking around. Like, unless I'm like handicapped in a wheelchair or something like that, and I just can't get out, and I don't need anything. Like, I should be outside doing something for at least like 10, 20 minutes once every other day, every 3 days. But like, seriously, I probably don't need to be out more than like once a week. I could live in here like it's a bunker, probably, and come out like twice a month because I just don't need to anymore. Like, I have the food necessary to just like stay in here. Because like I don't have any friends and anything. So like, but I don't want to do that. So I'm kind of in a pickle. And it's like you could go to the club. I'm like, what club? The there's grass outside with trees club. There's no club around here. And the nearest bar, if I even wanted to go to a bar to just hang out, is like 2.5 miles down the road. I ain't gonna walk that far just to like go to a bar that plays crappy country music and sit and watch the bartender either give me bad, nasty looks or be like, you gotta order something or get out. And I'm be like, yeah, let me get a $15 crappy drink of piss water that I don't want to drink in the first place. Way overpriced, nasty crap beer where I can look at, and let me be diplomatic here, an unattractive female. Because I have seen very few cute women in this town. And anytime I said anything to them, they have not been interested. Or most of the time, they have at least said they're taken. I got a boyfriend or a husband. And that's like, of course you do. You got a boyfriend or husband because I'm asking, or do you actually have a boyfriend or husband? Like, I just want to know. I gotta get more ranch sauce because I got salad stuff. You know, I hate that kind of thing where it's like you're getting stuff at the grocery store, and then you're like, do I have mayo? Do I have ranch? Do I have barbecue? I mean, I think I do, but like now that I'm doing this, like, do I have that? Do I have that weird other thing that you buy once every 3 months because you don't use it a whole lot? And like, I think I have it. I think I have enough for these things, but I don't know. Like sour cream, like I was like, yeah, I think I need to buy sour cream. But I had a bunch actually. But I did kind of need to buy it because the sour cream I had it expired like 3 days before I had the new stuff. So I was like, I might as well just throw this out because I got a completely new one. So I was like, yeah, screw it. I'll just throw this out because I got a lot of extra money, food money. So I was like, screw it. And now I got a new sour cream thing that I probably won't use any of for another month and a half or something like that. So I gotta buy more ranch sauce. I don't really use barbecue sauce, like ever. I don't even know when that expires. So we all need smart fridges that will like keep a lookout. So you can just like, now this is for most people, but you could just like pull out your phone and be like, is my barbecue sauce expired, fridge? And the fridge would be like, hold on, I'm checking. Yeah, it's expired. You need to buy some more barbecue sauce. Thanks, fridgy. Now, poor people like me won't ever have access to that technology for another 1,000 years because, but people in the professional and billionaire class, the billionaires won't be doing it themselves. They'll use their butlers. Their butlers will do that, or the fridge will just order it themselves. But again, it'd be nice. Or in 1,000 years, the replicator, you won't have to worry about any of that shit. Of course, we'll all be turned into Soylent Green. Also. Okay, well, I haven't looked back at this Graham thing, and it's 28 minutes. I think this is going to be. I think this video might be longer than the entire Graham Platner interview. Okay, I really like his point that he said because it cuts to the heart of the matter when he says, I take issue with they go to war, start wars, and spend billions and billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, and nobody says a thing about how much it's going to cost. Nobody in power, mind you. A lot of people, these days, social media people and average Joes on the street ask questions, but nobody in the House, Senate, that sort of thing. Nobody's like, well, where's the money coming from? Where's the dollars? Let's raise taxes in order to pay for the war. We have to raise taxes on the rich in order to pay for the war. No, nobody says that crap. But as soon as you want to give everyone health care, give everyone housing, give everyone energy, All those people, the senators and all that stuff, they're like, we don't got any money for that shit. I mean, we don't have any money. We're broke. We're in debt. We got nothing. Like, I don't got a penny. And it's like, yeah, that is exactly. I don't know about anybody out there that may still be watching it right now, but that's what I've been saying. That's what any reasonable person has been saying for I don't know how long, since the United States has had a debt of whatever, a debt and deficit of, well, let's just say a lot. So I like that he's pointing that out. We need more people pointing that out. We need people pointing that out every day, and we need people pointing that out every day that the House and Senate comes into session. We need somebody, the first person to speak on the floor, pointing that exact point out. We need a reporter that is in the press room of the White House pointing that out every first day. That needs to be the first question. Where's the money coming for this war? Who are we taxing for this? Elon Musk? Bezos? Where are we getting this money for this war? Who's buying the bombs for this war? Where is the production line and who's paying for it for this war? Because they're not buying us health care. They're not opening up this hospital that's right over there in exchange for this war. I mean, the hospital is only a few $1 million to open up. And how much does each one of these bombs cost? Each one of these Tomahawk missiles cost? Because I heard each Tomahawk missiles, every single one is like $1 million. So why don't we just fire one less Tomahawk missile and we get our hospital back? I think that's a good trade. So yeah, it seems good. Seems good. I don't pay enough attention to the Democratic Party. I'm not locked in, so I don't know every senator, every rep, every House rep at the federal level, and all of them. And I'm not trying to zoom in on them, so I don't really know how many newbie up and comers there are, and how many of the newbie up and comers are that caliber of individual that I would want to be aligned with. The kind of person that I would like to see, which would be bums. I want to see more bums in there. Bums that have lived bum lives, that understand America both sucks and is a great nation. I wouldn't say the greatest nation, because, to be the greatest nation, you got to have straight tens. Tens across the board. And I just don't think you're tens. I don't think we're tens across the board, I mean, anybody who thinks America is a 10 across the board is living in a dream world. Really, if we're a 10 across the board, have we cured cancer? Can you go into a hospital with your leg cut off and walk up and walk out? Literally walk out of the hospital? No, we ain't a 10 across the board, bitch. I mean, so I don't know what to tell you people. So just, and that's kind of Republican attitude of the electorate Republicans that we're dealing with here. And we gotta we gotta break the unreality that they live in. And you know, I don't know exactly how to do it with words, but sometimes you gotta do it with, you know, crazy words. You can't do it with like numbers and statistics. That you gotta leave for like college educated people, but like bar going folk, you need to use like a different flavor. You got to use crazy to reason with crazy, and stupid to reason with stupid. So you got to get on their level, which ain't here. It's down here. All right. Got to get in the muck. All right. I'm gonna stop there. Text rich people. Ball punch them. Hit the testicles, go up through the intestines and up through the neck, and the head split. Tax wealth not work, and boobs. Big old booty blessing boobs.